What's the best Wi-Fi name you've seen? Crack Shack, which wasn't exactly creative, but we later found out that the owners were arrested for selling drugs. Easy way to tell customers how to get there. Just drive up 5th until your phone sees the Crack Shack Wi-Fi. You'll know which house it is. My younger brother set his mobile hotspot to hot singles in your area and I'm never gonna get over it. Missed an opportunity for hot signals in your area. We're not allowed to have our own routers on campus, so I named mine at an T-Mobile hotspot. Go for something less obvious like John's iPhone. But then there'll be two. Juan's iPhone. I was in room 132 at my college dorm. I named it room 134's Wi-Fi. I fricked Jenny. Landlord's wife. I had a friend who had that. Hated his landlord, but the landlord couldn't find out which tenant was broadcasting it. The friend had it hooked up to a battery so the landlord couldn't cut the power to find out whose it was. I was like, a battery? Now I don't believe this story. And then I remembered that I also own UPSes. It's also pretty easy to hook up a 12V battery to many routers and other devices that use 12V power adapters. That's a commitment to the cause. Rebellious Amish family. I scrolled down far and it was worth it for this comment. I install internet etc. for a living. Best one I ever came up with was for the Delta Phi sorority. Delta Wi-Fi. They loved it. My favorite is it's on the back of the router. My Wi-Fi password for a while was on the router. Hilarity ensued. The following password was it didn't change. My buddy has their password as his password for the same reason. Missile phone number. What password? Was mine a while ago. I found out Javemi quarter. For the longest time, I had my phone's hotspot name as police surveillance tricycle. Turns out, it's a good way to get some people paranoid and have others amused over the whole thing when having it active during classes. Was at a church and some neighbor had Jesus has left the building. Jesus has left the chat. In my last apartment I named my Wi-Fi New England clam router. Always liked that one. One of my sons, probably about 12 or 13 at the time, friend's father set added a Wi-Fi channel named Free Internet Peen when his son had a birthday sleepover. The father then sat outside the area where they were sleeping and listened to them spend hours trying to figure out how to connect. My son called me that night asking how to connect to a Wi-Fi channel when you don't know the password, because his friend forgot their password. I told him the only way was to guess. Evidently it kept them busy and out of trouble all night. Until they broke the code. Hacker voice. I'm in. Goes to Google and searches boobs. Jesus caught my kid for the first time not too long ago. Just peen as a search and jobs. I guess 12yo. Girls are about as inventive as boys. Well damn, I never expected Christ's third coming to be like that. My neighbors are rude jerks, so I call my network free Comcast. Neighbor's address, and I obviously password protect it. My wish is that it drives them mad that there's internet with their address that they can't access. It's the small things in life. We don't the viewerfee. Password was I don't know. Hilarious when anyone asked him how to get on his Wi-Fi. It was like a vaudeville routine. Guy walks into a bar and asks the bartender, "What's the Wi-Fi password?" The bartender replies, "You need to buy a beer first." So the guy buys a beer and asks again, "What's the Wi-Fi password?" The bartender replies, "You need to buy a beer first." All lowercase, no spaces or punctuation. Friends of mine did a similar thing at a party once. They taped up a huge banner on the wall that said IIT Wimwigmab. Everyone was asking what it meant. Friends responded, "If I tell you what it means, will you get me a beer?" Almost everyone who asked didn't get it and came back to them with a fresh beer. This LAN is my LAN. This LAN is your LAN. From California to the New Yorkers land. Wu-Tang LAN. One of my neighbors has been Wu-Tang LAN for years. I love it. Password is protect Yanet. Password is old dirty password. Password. The password was Wi-Fi. Protected sex. And unprotected sex. For a British electronics store called Sex. My eyes piss Cox, so do with that what you will. Make 2 networks. Cox worship, your full speed, password protected home network. Cox and Bull torture, your guest network, not connected to your LAN and without a password, with speed limited to 8 kilobits per second. Dealing with Cox is already exhausting, now it's just torturous. Malware eggs, not a virus eggs. Note a doctor, 99. Fremulin. I heard that. No. I felt that. Mine has been Nigerian scam network for years. Lord of Thippings. Password Lagolus. Fee you fools. My friends, you bout to know one. Routers of Rohan. Chipotle, guess there's no Chipotle nearby. It's stupid it like this that cracks me up the most. I don't know why. I set my house network as McDonald's free Wi-Fi. My mother thought I legitimately got a Wi-Fi plan from McDonald's. There is no McDonald's nearby. I didn't think it was possible to not be near a McDonald's. Fun fact. Subway actually has significantly more locations than McDonald's, but brings in half the revenue. Yes, about 24k versus 14k in the US. It's substantially cheaper to open a Subway though. Think about the kitchen equipment. I caused a small family panic when I named a disconnected. My so changed hour to loading. I'll never get back the time I put into trying to fix it. Mine is connecting. Ours is low signal strength. Disconnected connected. Secured. Sounds like a geek version of Live Love Laugh. My favorite was, Mom, click here for internet. Calling it now that someone else's mother who has visited their child within that Wi-Fi router's range has tried to connect to it. When Arp's mum slept over at my place she tried to connect to it. Well yeah, when you guys finish up after 2 minutes, what else is she gonna do all night? You guys are brutal. You've got to kiss. Keep it simple, son. Totally safe Wi-Fi, no spyware. Promise and let it open, without password. How I've got my guest network SSID as very free Wi-Fi, no virus. Wi-Fi for hot singles in your area. My 2.4 GHz is click here for virus. The 5 GHz network is click here for virus fast. Yow kids jut off me lan. My neighbor had 1-2 bros chillin' in a hot tub. 5 feet apart cause they're not gay. LOL, that's the password. Try and a bed in the modem. That's mine. Password is cool edit. Yes, I know it should be cool. Cool. But I just did triple cool, because that's the amount he says fast sad face. Ah, that's nice. Don't you dare use your XE voice. Streets ahead. Bites. Go back to California when I had just moved to Texas, and had CA plates on my car still. Jeez. 5G coronavirus test number 1 strength. 500%. That's what she SSID. Closed lock. Free Wi-Fi. I jokingly set up a hotspot called Free Wi-Fi Airport XYZ while waiting for a delayed plane. I shut it down after 5 minutes cause my phone was getting DDoSed by people trying to connect to it. You're like one of those guys that puts the power outlet stickers on airport pillars. Except you don't get to watch people lose their it. Well, it's been a fun 5 minutes cause nothing's more annoying to people than just not getting connected to that damn Wi-Fi. But jokes aside, it made me realize why lots of corporate policies mention to be careful connecting to public Wi-Fi. And as a side note, those policies are there for a reason. Damn, that's a power move right there. Silence of the LAN is a top contender for me. When my brother was in the Air Force Reserve, I went to his house one day and say his Wi-Fi name was LAN of the Free. I'm in a military barracks and my Wi-Fi name is NCIS Surveillance Van. We thought it was hilarious when there was suddenly a network called RCMP 4325 hanging around. But then the neighbors got busted for cocaine. Why would Canadians even do cocaine if you have maple syrup? Is this the Krusty Krab? The password was Nothesis Patrick. I use this one for my hotspot. Nobody has tried to connect to it yet, but I'm hoping one day they will. It burns 1 IP. 8 Hz 1 IP. WebMD says your router has an STD. Tell my wife I love her. I kinda wish the person responsible for that router updated the name regularly to fill everyone else in on how their relationship was going. Tell my wife I need more space. Tell my wife I want another kid, but only if she's okay with it. Tell my wife I want a divorce. Tell my wife I want the router. The best Wi-Fi name that I found led me on an elaborate adventure. It was called Help Girl Kidnapped Floor 9 at 30C. On the door of that apartment was a post-it note that instructed me to go into the basement where there was a stash of free marshmallows. Grabbed enough to add into a cup of white hot chocolate. Meanwhile the pool girl is still being held at floor 9 at 30C. Kidnapper A. What are we going to do about the Wi-Fi? She changed the name. Kidnapper B. Switch it off real quick. They will find out. Kidnapper A. But neighbors will find it weird if power is on and Wi-Fi is off. Kidnapper C. Just stick a post-it outside and put some marshmallows downstairs. 3 days later. A. How many more packets do we need to buy? The cops have been called numerous times, but they always end up leaving with a handful of marshmallows. A simple spell, but quite unbreakable. Taking candy from strangers. In a basement.